Section 105 is a section of the tax code that allows employers to assist their employees with medical expenses in a tax-advantaged way. Now, they're a little different from Section 125 plans in a few different ways, one of them being that Section 125, both employers and employees can contribute. Section 105, on the other hand, are typically structured in a way where only the employer can contribute to the plans. So this makes this a better option for employers who are already sponsoring a group health plan for their employees and contributing something to the care. Someone who's not doing that yet may want to stick with just a Section 125 plan and hold off on Section 105 for now. Now, there are a variety of ways that you could structure a Section 105 plan. That's the awesome thing about them. They're so flexible, just like Section 125. However, most of the structures will fall into one of two different categories. So first up, we've got health reimbursement arrangements, or HRAs, also commonly known as self-funded group health plans. This is where the employer effectively decides to self-insure and pay for medical costs directly rather than paying for insurance premiums. So most large employers actually already do this, although they may partner with a TPA to help administer the plan, so their employees may have still an insurance card with, an insurance company logo on there. However, it is actually their employer that's the one paying for the claims for the medical expenses, not the insurance company. The reason they do this is because they've found that bringing these costs in-house, paying for the medical expenses of their employees directly, tends to be a lot cheaper than paying for insurance premiums. That makes this a viable option to completely replace traditional group health insurance coverage and instead just have an entirely in-house or self-funded group health plan. Employers have a great deal of flexibility in how they design these custom group health plans, so they can set their own deductible amounts, co-payment amounts, covered procedures, all of the things, all of the different levers that you could pull on with an insurance company. Employers can now choose to set their own. Just keep in mind that if this is the only group health plan that a company is offering and they have more than 50 employees, they do need to make sure that the plan meets the affordability and minimum value requirements of the ACA. But as long as they're doing that, this is a totally compliant and viable way to replace traditional health insurance coverage. And it's something that most employers can pull off for between $0 and $100 a month per employee in an employer contribution. So now you can start to see why all of the large companies already do it this way. And for smaller companies with the right plan structure and risk mitigation strategies, this is still an extremely viable option. And that's exactly what we do at Common Care, is we help employers figure out how they can structure and design these plans in a way that is compliant, that is safe, and that is more cost effective than the traditional route that most small employers tend to follow. And even for the larger employers that are already self-funding, a lot of them have just modeled their self-funded group health plans after whatever their traditional health insurance plan was that they were doing before, meaning that the results that they get tend to be pretty similar. So while it might be slightly more cost effective, they're missing out on a lot of the savings and efficiency that they could be receiving if they had structured things a little more creatively. So if you run into groups that are already self-funding, we definitely still have solutions for them. Okay, the second most common way to structure a Section 105 plan is through what's called an HRA, which stands for Individual Coverage Health Reimbursement Arrangement. Kind of a mouthful. They're similar to HRAs in the sense that employers are reimbursing employees for incurred expenses. The difference being that with an HRA, employers are reimbursing employees for out-of-pocket medical expenses. With an HRA, employers are reimbursing employees for the cost of a health insurance premium. So the employer decides how much they want to put into the plan each month. The employees can then use that allowance to cover or at least subsidize any health insurance premium of their choosing, making this a good option for employers that want to self-fund through one of the first two options and still provide a route for their least healthy employees to consume traditional health insurance. So there's a summary of the two main ways to structure a Section 105 plan. Almost all employers who have over 50 employees who are currently implementing a group health plan will find the options available under Section 105 to be a huge upgrade compared to what they're doing right now, because they're able to offer a greater variety of options that better meet the needs of their employees for typically far less than what they've been paying out to the insurance companies. And again, as we keep bringing up, these are completely customizable, so you can always still overlay insurance. You can still have that as a part of this. There's a lot of things you can do to mitigate your risks as an employer and make sure that self-insuring doesn't get out of control. The point of this video isn't to get into all of the technical ins and outs of exactly how to structure a plan. I just wanted to bring that up because that is a concern that people have is, hey, if I'm self-insuring, yeah, maybe it's way cheaper until one of my employees has $1 million brain surgery or something like that. And we for sure are happy to help employers figure out how to mitigate those sorts of risks. Also, since I'm on the topic, I should just say that those sorts of risks are extremely rare. There aren't that many $1 million medical bills actually floating around, contrary to popular belief, but that's a discussion for another day. So there's a summary of the 2 free plans that we offer. There's really no reason that almost every employer out there wouldn't want at least a Section 125 or a Section 105, and a lot of employers with over 50 employees will want to implement both. As mentioned earlier, anyone can go to our site and use our free AI models to generate a Section 125 and or a Section 105 plan completely free of charge. Then once they have that foundation in place, the rest of our products can be laid over the top if they choose.